Hey, Mom, it's me. I wanted to wish you early happy birthday, just in case I don't get to talk to you again. I love you, and I'll call you here in a few days. Bye.
Greg was a very inquisitive little fellow.
He'd love to go out on the boat with his papaw and fish and talk about papaw's war stories.
He enjoyed history. He liked going to old towns.
He liked to travel. He loved the beach.
He was a charmer.
Talked to him every day.
If they needed something, he would come over and help them do whatever it was they needed.
We were very close. He had a very close relationship with my 3 kids, especially my son.
Greg loved those kids. He was in a 4-wheeler accident with his dad, and we had to eventually have surgery done for him on his knee. He was always in a lot of pain. He was on pain medicine for a long time, but that made him addicted, I think. He was 14 then. He was on the golf team, the ski team, football team, but that kind of stuff started dwindling away, and he started choosing different friends.
He was always looked good and was always into shoes and fashion and things like that, so it was just not, it was hard to tell from the outside that, he was struggling.
I didn't realize how bad it was.
The struggles that he had changed his personality.
He was good at hiding it, so not a lot of people knew.
I felt helpless. I mean, in the beginning, it's, I was, okay, we can handle this, we can do this, we'll go here and you'll get the help and we'll change things, and then it would happen again. He didn't want to be addicted to anything.
He lived with us for a while.
He would do okay for a year or a year and a half.
But then when he started back again, we couldn't let him live with us again.
But he had been living in Florida and doing really well.
He did really good down there because he was helping people. He liked to help people. And when he lost that motivation, that's when the spiral starts again. The last day, he came to pressure wash our decks, and my neighbor came over to meet him, and she said, "I can see the sparkle in your eye that this is your favorite grandson." I said, "Yes, he is. He's my heart." That was the last time I saw him.
It was a nurse that called me from the ICU that told me that Greg was in the intensive care unit and he was intubated, and he was non-responsive. Yeah, and they didn't, that was hard.
He just looked so, normal, like it didn't look like anything had happened.
At JCPenney's, he was found in the restroom, face down in a fetal position. There was nothing around him to indicate he had overdosed on his own. There was no syringe, there was nothing. So they kept saying it was suspicious. The autopsy came back and he had received a hot shot of straight fentanyl. It means that someone has received it. They weren't asking for it. It was on videotape of someone following him in to the restroom. But, the police couldn't find the individual. Later on, I found out that it was over a pair of shoes and possibly him owing money to somebody or him being blamed for something. They did the brain scan and they said that he was brain dead. And so they pronounced him on the 3rd. My sister found his driver's license and it said he was an organ donor. And being an OR nurse, I know what happens with organ donation, so it was very hard.
Greg's grandfather, he had a real hard time when we lost Greg. He just couldn't believe it.
It has changed my parents, his sisters, his dad. It has changed whether I even want to continue being a nurse.
You lose friends. Family don't come around much.
We're missing so much with him. Like, I'll never get to, be an aunt to his kids or, anything like that. So it's tough.
It can happen to you. And it's a stab in your heart, one that can't be mended. That piece of my heart's gone.
I have a pair of shoes, one of his pairs of shoes in the car, in the passenger side on the floor. It just is a reminder to me. It brings me comfort.
I have a sweater, and I wear it sometimes, just to feel his arms around me.
The biggest thing that I'm trying to do is to try to save somebody else's life. It really is only necessary to take opiates for 2 to 3 days max, and not have a doctor prescribe you 90 pills like they did Greg.